If you feel like your days are filled with more doing than resting and you need some balance in your life, then this beginner Hatha yoga class is for you. Hi, I'm Melissa West from Yoga with Melissa, and I want to thank Maris from Yoga Upload for having me as a guest today here on her channel. I teach real yoga for real people so that you can move better, feel better, and connect with your true nature. If you are new here, Maris puts out a new video every Monday and Thursday, so be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss a single video from Maris. And if you like my video, come on over to my channel. It's youtube.com/drmelissawest, and be sure to subscribe to my channel as well. If you like my video today, be sure to give it a like, a thumbs up, and let me know in the comments what you liked about the video. And by the way, I put out a new video every Friday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific. I have a testimonial for you today. It is from one of my beginner yoga videos from another Melissa, and she says, "Thank you for the modifications and for making videos that even I can follow." So thank you to Melissa for leaving your comments, and thanks to all of you who take your time to leave your comments on YouTube and iTunes and Facebook, Instagram, my website, and as always, the most in-depth conversations happen in my membership community. So if you are new to yoga, it's really important before you start that you have a conversation with your doctor and ask your medical doctor, especially if you have any injuries or any illnesses, what movements, don't talk to them about yoga, just ask them what movements should I avoid so that I don't make my illness or condition worse, and what movements should I do so that I can make my illness or condition or injury better. Once you know these things, you can come into a yoga class and you can take care of yourself so that you don't make your illness or your injury worse, and so that you can know how to make yourself better too. So once you have all that sorted, then you can start a yoga class. I'm going to give you a preview in the box in the upper corner of what you can expect from today's class, so that once you know what you can and can't do, you can watch this little preview and know if this is a class that you can do. We're going to start with a recline guided relaxation. I'll give modifications for if you have back issues. We're going to do bridge pose, a reclined half moon pose, a reclined side bend, cat pose. We're going to do lunge pose, hero's pose, a sitting kneeling option, and we'll have an option for staff pose if you have any knee issues. We're going to do chair pose. And then we're going to do a standing forward fold with a deep knee bend for any low back issues. And then we're going to do a Sphinx pose, a nice gentle back bend. And then we will finish with crocodile pose. And you can have the option to finish lying on your stomach for Shavasana. So that is our plan for today. If that sounds like it's going to work for you, then let's start with our guided relaxation. I'll talk you into how to lie down on your back on the ground. You're going to lie down and just with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor, press into your feet and tuck your pelvis under. That'll make your low back more comfortable. Tuck your shoulder blades under. That'll allow your shoulders to rest into the ground more. You're going to stay here with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. If you have any low back issues, you could stay here regardless, or you can lengthen your legs out. If that feels fine, you can stay there, or if it was more comfortable to have your knees bent, you can have your knees bent. You can either have your hands resting on your belly, or you can have them turned up beside you, whatever feels better for you today. And then take a deep breath in through your nose. And let it fall out of your mouth. And feel the support of the earth underneath you. And allow yourself to arrive here now. So this is going to be different from your day-to-day life where you're running and doing many things at once. And here you're going to focus on one thing at a time. You're going to focus on the sensations in your body. So as you rest and feel the support of the earth underneath you, connect with your breathing and feel the sensations in your body, I'm going to describe to you a little bit about Hatha Yoga and what we're going to be doing in today's class. Today we're going to be doing a Hatha Yoga class, and Hatha Yoga is often defined as a generic term, as any type of yoga that teaches gentle physical postures, that is not a flow-based class. However, Hatha Yoga actually has a specific meaning. Hatha is a Sanskrit word which breaks down to Ha for sun and Tha for moon. So just like the sun brings energy to the day and the moon brings quiet to the night, we need to balance energy in our bodies. During the day we are active, and at night we rest. Ha represents the active energies, and Tha represents quiet qualities. And together they bring harmony. The sun qualities of Hatha Yoga are stimulating, vibrant, energizing, and strong. But we will burn out if we're always efforting. And in our day-to-day lives, we tend to push forward, be addicted to being busy and doing, and we tend to be more comfortable with effort and energy. Generally, our culture needs to be more connected with our moon energy, more quiet, receptive, nurturing, introspective, and restorative. So in our class today, we're going to balance the Ha and the Tha, the sun and the moon energies in your body. So reflect on how this relates to you in your life. Does your energy feel balanced? Are you balancing doing with resting? Are you balancing the energizing with the quiet in your life? And then form an intention for what it is you would like to receive from your yoga practice today. Why are you here? What would you like to receive from your yoga practice? And then once you've formed your intention, if you don't already have your knees bent, then you're going to bend your knees and place your feet flat on the floor. And you're going to press into your feet until you lift your buttocks off the ground. If you have any neck and shoulder injuries here, you're going to be careful not to put any strain on your shoulders and your neck. And when you're here, you're going to feel the effort that this takes through your feet and your legs and your buttocks. So this is very strengthening for your legs and your buttocks. So this is a Ha pose, a stimulating and an energizing pose. And then you're slowly going to lower down, and you're going to bring your knees into your chest and hold on behind your knees. So after you effort in a yoga posture, you rest. So you do a pose and then a counter pose. Let your shoulders be heavy here. So this is a ta pose, a moon pose. You rest here. So feel the release. Feel the stretch in your low back here. And let yourself rest and recover in this pose. Let this posture out of your body. And then you're going to take your legs straight down. And you're going to walk them over to the left corner of your mat. And you're going to take your arms overhead, hold on to your elbows, and bend your body over towards the left side of your mat. So you're in a reclined side bend here. Surrender to gravity here. Allow your body to be quiet and still. This is a tha pose, a moon pose. This pose will lengthen your low back. It's really great for your low back. It will also open your body to be able to breathe more easily. So it's great for asthmatics. Come back to the center. Pause in the center and feel the difference between the two sides of your body. Walk your feet over to the right side of your mat and take your arms overhead, hold on to your elbows, and bring your body over to the right side of your mat as well. Feel the opening in your low back and through your thoracic spine, opening up your intercostal muscles to help you breathe better. And rest into the stillness. And then come back to center. Pause in the center. Take a breath. Notice if it's easier to breathe. Notice if you feel more quiet, more still in your body. And then bend your knees. Roll to your right side. And you're going to push yourself up onto all fours. You're going to come onto your hands and knees. Your hands are going to be underneath your shoulders. Your knees are going to be underneath your hips. If you have any knee issues, you can double up your mat so you have extra padding underneath your knees. If you have any wrist issues, you can either come up onto your fists or you can come down onto your forearms here. In this position, you're going to breathe out and round up through your back. And then you're going to breathe in and arch through your back. Breathe out and round up through your back. And breathe in and arch through your back. And in this pose, you're going to feel the movement in your spine. Feel the movement with your breath. And so this is an action pose. This is a sun pose. There's movement happening in this pose. You're bringing energy to your body and to your spine. This pose is creating mobility in your spine. And it's massaging your nervous system. And then you're going to open your knees wide and sit back on your heels and rest in child's pose. Now, if this doesn't work because of ankle flexibility or knee issues, then I'm going to recommend that you take this on your back with your knees to your chest instead. So this would be your option instead, would be to lie on your back with your knees to your chest, holding on behind your knees for knee issues. Okay, so whichever position, both are going to be a quieter position to connect with that moon energy, that balancing thought energy that we talked about. So let your body rest and feel the quiet, receptive, nurturing, introspective energy here, whether you're in child's pose or lying on your back in knees to chest pose. This position reduces stress. Whether you're in child's pose or knees to chest pose, it will stretch out your low back. Then you're slowly going to come up and we're going to do lunge pose. So you've got that fold underneath your knees. If you need some extra protection for your knees, you could also fold up a blanket or put a cushion underneath your knees. And you're going to walk your left leg through. You could have some blocks here or a chair in front of you to help you with balance. You're going to walk your left leg through. And if you want some blocks on either side of your foot for balance or a chair in front of you for balance, that would be just fine. And in this pose, I want you to feel that this pose is more active, more stimulating. You can feel there's a lot happening at the front of your hip here, at the front of your right hip as your hip is opening. You can feel the power in your legs here. You can feel your breath meeting you as there's more happening. This is a Ha pose, a sun pose, stimulating and invigorating. Between lunge pose on either side, we're going to take the quieter pose. I'm going to give you two options here. One, if you don't have any knee issues, you're going to take hero pose. So you're going to sit kneeling with your hands on your lap, and you're just going to notice that quiet, receptive, calm state. But if you do have knee or ankle issues, this pose isn't going to work for you, in which case you're going to take staff pose with your legs straight out in front of you, your hands by the side of your buttocks. You may have to sit up on a cushion to elevate your hips if you're getting a lot of rounding through your low back. You're just going to sit here, feel the quiet, reflective, contemplative nature of this pose compared to the activeness of the lunge pose. And then we'll go ahead and do lunge pose on the other side. So you're going to step your right leg through now. And you can have your hands on the blocks or on a chair for balance. But again, feeling how this pose is much stronger, much more stimulating, much more energizing as you open up the front of your left hip now. And even your breath becomes stronger to meet you in this pose. And then we'll release this posture from your body and come back to either the kneeling hero's pose or sitting with your legs out in front of you if this won't work because you have either ankle or knee injuries. So you're going to kneel or sit with your legs straight out in front of you. And then close your eyes and turn inwards, feeling the more quiet, introspective, cooling qualities of this moon pose, this Hatha pose. This pose is good for high blood pressure and asthma. It's said to improve digestion. It brings you into your parasympathetic nervous system, so you come into that rest and digest mode. Okay, you can lengthen out your mat behind you, and from here we're going to come up to standing. From standing, we're going to do chair pose. And in chair pose, you're going to take your arms straight out in front of you. Your inner edges of your feet are parallel, and you're going to sit right back. And in this pose, you're going to feel the effort in this pose in your legs and your buttocks, even drawing up through your pelvic floor, drawing your navel back towards your spine to support your low back here. So you can feel that this is a very invigorating pose. Stay back in your heels, lift your toes. And in fact, this pose is considered contraindicative if you have high blood pressure because it's so stimulating. Also, if you have headaches because it's so stimulating. And even if you have insomnia, this is a pose you're not supposed to do because it's so stimulating. So those are the contraindications for this pose. So just feel in this pose how stimulating it is. Feel the strength in your legs. Feel the energy coming up in your body in this pose. And then slowly you're going to come up to standing. And then we're going to balance that stimulation, that energy, by bringing the energy back down with the standing forward fold. So the way that we're going to do the standing forward fold is so that it's safe if you have any low back issues, and so that it's accessible if you're a beginner. Your hamstrings might be more tight. You're going to bend your knees. You're going to roll your pelvis over your leg bones. You're going to place your elbows on your thighs, and then you're going to drop the crown of your head. And that's how we're going to do our standing forward fold today. This is a really nice version of standing forward fold. So here, notice how this pose is much more quiet and introspective and restful than the chair pose that you just did. This pose is very calming. It relieves fatigue and anxiety. It's said to reduce headaches and insomnia. Relax your shoulders. And then you're slowly going to come up to standing. And we're going to lie down on your belly now. So wiggle your hips from side to side here on your belly to release your low back. Let your low back be really nice and loose. And then you're going to tuck your right toe under, lift your right heel and your right knee, lengthen back through your right heel, and that'll create some space in your low back. Tuck your left toe under, lift your left knee, reach back through your left heel. More space in your low back. Take your arms out long in front of you, and then you're going to walk your elbows back underneath you until they come underneath your shoulders. So in this pose, feel the strength in your back and in your arms and feel the invigorating quality of this back bend. So this is a Ha pose. This is a sun pose. This is a stimulating and strong pose. And this pose in particular, it tones your kidneys and your adrenals, and it will give you energy. So if you're feeling like you have no energy, then this is a great pose to do to stimulate your energy. You should avoid this pose, obviously, if you're pregnant. If you have any injuries, chronic injuries in your back, chronic or recent injuries in your back, on your arms and your shoulders, or any recent abdominal surgeries, those would all be reasons to avoid this pose. You want to feel pressure in your low back in this pose, but no sharp, shooting, electric pain in your back in this pose. And then for our final pose in this class, you're going to walk your elbows back forward and come to rest on your forehead on the backs of your hands for crocodile pose. And this pose is really good for slipped discs, sciatica, and asthma. And this is a Ta pose, a moon pose. It's very calming and quiet and soothing. And here you can just let yourself rest and relax into the ground. So you can stay here, rest here for our final relaxation for Shavasana, corpse pose, or you can roll over if this isn't comfortable and lie on your back like you did at the beginning, with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor or your legs long, depending on if you have back issues. So your choice, you can stay lying on your belly or you can lie on your back. Palms up or palms on your belly. And if you have back issues and you're lying on your back, you need to bend your knees. So you're going to stay in one of those positions and rest to receive your practice. So rest, I hope you are understanding at this point, is really important to bring balance to all the doing we have in our lives. You're going to stay here to receive your practice, to bring balance to your life, and I'm going to sit up and read you 2 poems today. One about the sun and one about the moon. My students love me to finish their yoga class by reading them poems in Shavasana, so it's a tradition in my classes. If you like the poems, then great, allow them to sink in, let them just permeate every cell of your being, and if they don't resonate for you, then just let them wash on by. That's totally fine too. The first poem is called The Sun by Mary Oliver. Have you ever seen anything in your life more wonderful than the way the sun every evening, relaxed and easy, floats towards the horizon and into the clouds or hills or the rumpled sea and is gone, and how it slides again out of the blackness every morning on the other side of the world, like a red flower streaming upward on its heavenly oils, say on the morning in early summer at its perfect imperial distance. And have you ever felt anything, such wild love? Do you think there is anywhere in any language a word billowing enough for the pleasure that fills you as the sun reaches out, as it warms you, as you stand there empty-handed? Or have you too turned from this world? Or have you too gone crazy for power, for things? The second poem is also by Mary Oliver, and it's called Moon and Water. I wake and spend the last hours of darkness with no one but the moon. She listens to my complaints like the good companion she is, and comforts me surely with her light. But she, like everyone, has her own life. So finally I understand that she has turned away, is no longer listening. She wants me to refold myself into my own life, and bending close, as we all dream of doing, she rows her white arms through the dark water which she adores. So gradually allow your breath to deepen. You're going to bend your knees if they're not already bent. Roll to your right side and pause on your right side for a moment. And then slowly make your way up to seated. Do you feel more balanced and harmony between doing and being since the beginning of the class? If so, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you know anybody who could benefit from a little more balance and harmony in their life between doing and resting, then please feel free to share this video with them. Let me know in the comments what yoga pose in this class brought you the most balance and harmony. Be sure to subscribe to Maris's channel, Yoga Upload, for loads of great yoga content. I love Maris's classes. I love doing them with her, and I would love for you to be able to have access to all the classes that she uploads every, I think I said it was Monday and Thursday at the beginning. So be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single one of her amazing classes. And I want to thank Maris for having me as a guest on her channel again. It's a real honor to be here. If you like this beginner's class and you want more beginner's classes, come on over to my website at melissawest.com. There's a triangle there and it says new to yoga. If you would like, you can click on that and you can have access to my 31-day beginner yoga class challenge, where I have 31 days of beginner classes. You can do a whole month of beginner classes that are laid out in an order for you to really get to know yoga in a systematic way. And it's just a great way to start yoga. So if that makes sense to you and it's something that you feel called to do, then come on over and you can check that out. I am sending you much love from beautiful British Columbia, which is still quite wet and rainy and cold here at the middle of March right now when I'm filming. So that's why we are inside, but we do prefer to film outside. I'm sending you much love from beautiful British Columbia. May your joy be as deep as our Pacific Ocean. May you be as rooted as the trees in our forest, and may you be as strong as our mountains. Om Shanti. Namaste.